Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking over. It means a lot that you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today we are bringing back one of my favorite series from 41, the Who Will Win series, where we basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it's in the title. For any newcomers here, it's basically just me speculating on who is in the best spot to win the game in the end. And this video is the one and only pre-game edition of this series, where I basically just go based off pre-game interviews, vibes, and social media feeds. But you can expect this series to go throughout the entire season with an episode, maybe not every week, but almost every single week. I'll try to make one because things can change very, very quickly in the game with one episode. So I'll try and make one either every week or every other week. I really haven't decided yet. And by the way, the way that I like to format these episodes in this series is by eliminating all the people who I feel like they just shouldn't even be in discussion at the start, and then after that I shave off some people who I feel like for different reasons that just don't really have like that big shot to win, and then after that I'll get like my main group and rank them based off who has the best shot to win the game. Now, obviously, this episode will be much different than the rest because I don't have a past episode to go off of, or really any episodes to go off of. So again, this is all speculation. There's no need to have a brain aneurysm in the comments because my bullshit speculation is different than your bullshit speculation, because we're all just bullshitting here. All right off the bat, Jonathan, as much as I like them, he wants to play like Ozzy and Joe, and that's not really how you win the game nowadays, so I'm going to pass on Jonathan. Maria, I just haven't gotten anything from her. I really don't think that, she knows what she's doing, and I really don't understand what her thing is. Like, she's not a game bot, so is she just the token mom on the cast, or is she just straight up nuts? Either one just really isn't really good for her game. Romeo could go home early because he seems like probably the weakest person on this cast, including the women, and even including Lydia. So hard no on that. Tori moves on. Jackson, I think it's almost a guaranteed pre-merge boot from both his social media and overall his personality. Probably the first boot of our season right here, but also definitely a pre-merge boot for sure. Although if I had to put my life on somebody being first boot, I would go with Jackson. Chanel moves on. Omar moves on, Swati moves on, Hai moves on. Lindsay, I think this is our Nora part, like to 2.0 almost, meaning she either goes pre-merge because she's annoying, or she gets dragged to the end as a GOAT because she's annoying. But either way, she probably loses. Mike, I love this guy, but I think that his age among his tribe members will lead him to get voted out, probably because there's no swap. So I think eventually he may be able to survive like one vote in the pre-merge, but if he goes more than once, which is probably very likely, he's probably going to go home at some point because he just cannot relate to his tribe members like they can to each other with his different age. Lydia, I think this is the girl that you never vote for at the end because she just never has that final tribal performance that she needs to win the game. She just doesn't really have it in her. I said this about Erica and I was wrong, so hopefully I'm not wrong again. Roxroy moves on. Jenny Kim, she's just kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. I really don't have a grip on what she wants to do in the game, and therefore it's kind of hard to put her in a spot where she can win. Daniel Strunk moves on. Marianne moves on, and so does Zach, as well as Drea. All right, so our short list is Tori, Chanel, Omar, Swati, Hai, Roxroy, Daniel, Zach, and Drea. All right, so I want to shave off Zach and Omar first because to me, they seem like the type of guys where if an all-woman alliance popped up, then they would just try and join it, which, of course, I'm being facetious, but I'm also not. I mean, overall, these guys just seem like soy boys to me with a lack of conviction. They're two pretty sharp dudes who are obviously very smart, especially Omar, who's a literal, vet, like basically a pet doctor, but they just don't have that personality, that winning personality. Now we're down to 7. I think the next person that I want to eliminate is Drea, who I feel like honestly is a little too aggressive, and we've seen from her confessionals, in that 42 preview, that she has some sort of ill will against men, which obviously doesn't help her game. On top of this, if you read her Parade.com interview, she confessed to basically going on this season to quote unquote find herself, because supposedly the year leading up to the filming of the season was a very rough patch for her and the people in her life. Her relationships. I don't know if that means like boyfriend or if it means like friends or family, but something along those lines. So she's obviously not really focused on the game, but more for, you know, her experience, which is kind of cringy. And she's also an Instagram influencer, which kind of just sours my taste on her possible social skills. But who knows? I'd also like to eliminate Tori and Swati, who to me have some pieces of being possible winners, but I just don't have enough pregame content from them to get a real confident feeling that you know, that they have like a real shot to win. They really didn't talk a lot in their pregame, aside from like, you know, talking about like where they're from and who they are. They really didn't lay out like a strategy, and that's really hard to take that and say, okay, well now they're definitely going to win. And that leaves us with 4. Let's rank them. So at number 4, I'm going to throw Roxroy out there. I think he's a little over the age that most winners are, which is in their early 30s, but he's bordering on middle age, which is usually would be fine. But with the abundance of young, like kind of late Gen Z, young millennials that Survivor is casting right now, mostly to push their political agenda, he may not fit in, especially if he doesn't share those beliefs, which may be a possibility. I'm very torn between Daniel, Hai, and Chanel, but I'm going to put Daniel at 3, because if at any point there's like a tie in my mind, I'm going to go with the persons whose demographics fit what modern juries are trying to vote for, which is POCs and women. But I do feel like Daniel, you know, is definitely a good player, and I like the way that he's coming into the game very confident. Basically, already seeing himself as a power player while also already trying to manage his threat level. I'm also going to throw Hai at 2 because I think his egotistical nature can pop out, especially when he's hungry and cranky, and that could really you know, mess up his game. But I think that right now, if I had to bet on someone being a power player in the game, I would definitely go with Hai, because he's very strategically skilled, and I think overall in the cast, he's probably your best player overall. But at number 1, I have Chanel, who fits the winner demographic perfectly as far as being both a POC and a woman, and 2, is one of the best strategical and social players on the season, coming only second to Hai, who has bigger problems of his own. And so, yeah, curious to see what you guys think, you know, this cast overall has to bring. Do you think that we're going to get a really good season, or a season that's just kind of rubbish? I think personally that this cast had some light spots. I just think that at least the pregame interviews just did not show us like a lot about this cast. So I feel like we're going to have to see, based off of how they interact on the season and, you know, what the story ends up being. I think this season has potential, but the floor is also very low. I think with 41, the floor was a lot higher, and the season just bombed. Whereas in this season, the floor is like, it could be like the worst season ever, or like a top 10 season. We will just have to see. Who do you guys think will win? Let me know in the comments. Again, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a weird guy speaking into a weird microphone. And if that's it, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.